Salvete omnes, and welcome to Caesar's Gallic Wars, Book 5, Section 40. When last we left Caesar, the Gauls were attacking the camp of Quintus Cicero, the brother of Marcus Tullius Cicero. And in Section 40, we are going to have the Romans strengthen their defenses and try to get some things going to formidably push back on the enemy. So let us begin. Mituntor ad Caesarem confestem ab Cicerone literae magnis propositis primiis si per tu licent. Letters, literae, are sent. I mean, you could also say a letter is sent if you want to take it as a singular, but you could say letters are sent, confestem, immediately, ad Caesarem, to Caesar, ab Cicerone, from Cicero, or even by Cicero. Magnis propositis primiis, with magnis primiis, with great rewards, having been propositis, offered, if, see, per tu licent, if they had delivered them. So we have a pluperfect subjunctive here in a C clause, which is an if clause, a conditional clause. Obsessis omnibus viis, with all the roads having been watched, those which were sent, those having been sent, missi, are intercepted. So a little present passive there. Noctu, at night, ex materia, from the material, from the timber, which they had comportaveranted, which they had brought, there's your pluperfect tense, for the sake of a munitione, for the sake of building a fortification. So here we have causa plus the genitive to mean for the sake of, just causa as a preposition here. So at night from the timber which they had brought for the sake of building fortifications, a full 120 CXX, a full 120 turres, towers, are excitantur, are raised with incredibili celeritate, with incredible speed. Ablative of manner here. Blue indicating the ablative. The things which seemed to be lacking, there's de esse, which means to lack, which the things which seemed, this is a neuter plural here, the things which seem to be, probably a nominative plural, which seem to be lacking for the work, are completed, perfice untur. So we have a couple of passives here you can see in the present tense. The enemy, postero die, on the next day, multo maioribus coactis copiis, with much greater forces having been gathered, oppugnant castra, attack the camp, and complent fossam, attacks the camp and fills the ditch. So we're keeping this all in the present tense here. So the enemy on the following day, with much larger forces having been gathered, attack the camp and fill the ditch. Eadem ratione, by the same ration or method, qua pridee, by which they had resisted the day before. There is resistance, resistator, ab nostris, by our men. Hoc idem, the same thing happens or occurs, reliquis diebus, on the next days, dainceps in succession. Nulla pars nocturni temporis, no part, here's your subject here in the red, no part of the night, of the nocturnal time, is interrupted or is left free ad laborem, from work. Non aegris, not to the sick, nor to the vulneratis, nor to the wounded, is a facultas, is an opportunity for quietus, for rest given. So they work tirelessly to continue to strengthen their defenses. And we're continuing on with a little bit more. Quaecum quae ad proximi die eo pugnationem opus sunt noctu comparantur multi priusta suedes magnus moralium pilorum numerus instituitur. Whatever things are needed, whatever there is need for, opus sunt, ad opugnationem, for the attack, for the next day's attack or the attack on the next day, are comperantur, which is really just paro, are prepared at night. Multi priustae suedes, many stakes with their ends hardened, a great number of muralium pilorum. So these are all kind of technical terms dealing with fortifications. So a great number of wall spears of pilum, muralium pilorum. So there's wall murus, right? Pilorum spikes, wall spikes. A great number is fabricated. Turres cantabulantur. Towers are built. Pini loricaeque. Merlons and parapets are woven ex cratibus from the wicker. Ipse Cicero, Cicero himself, cum tenuissima valditudine esse, although, and we're going to translate this cum as although in a cum clause, although he is in tenuissima valditudine, he is in very poor health, ne nocturnum quidem sibi tempus ad quietem reliquebat. He does not, he did not even leave the nocturnum tempus, the nighttime, for himself. Indeed, he did not indeed leave the nocturnum tempus, the nighttime, for himself, sibi, for quiet, for rest. Ut ultro militum concursu ac vocibus siber parcere cogerator, so that he is forced in the end, ultro, I'll probably translate that as in the end. He is forced in the end by the crowding around of voices of the soldiers, so by the crowd and the voices of the soldiers, he is forced to spare parcere himself. And just remember that parkeo takes a dative, and that is why you have a dative here with sibi. So he is forced to spare himself because he's really in bad health, and he is not really, he's continuing to work as a great leader would. So as we continue with 41, we're going to have the Nervi offering some terms, and then we're going to try to, and the Gauls will eventually storm the camp. So we will see you next time. Walete.